All right, so today's topic, I had a little incident recently where I was traveling. This was actually a little while ago. And while I was traveling, I had a guest stay with me during my experience. Someone I only kind of knew a little bit, not too well, but I was like, you know what, you want to stay with me? You know what I'm saying? It's fine. Yeah. And me and this lady had an incident. So I'm going to kind of just play the video that I recorded right after it happened, and then me and Preach will react to it.
I'm in LA right now. I'm doing stand-up comedy. I'm doing showcases because I'm trying to get on, you know what I'm saying? And during this process, I was messaging someone long distance from another country, and she's like, yeah, I'll visit LA. And I'm like, yeah, I'll host you for a couple of days. I got some days off during this week, and you have a place to stay, so just fly yourself out, and we'll hang out, and I'll host you and show you around town. It'll be fun, right? I'm a great host. And so this person flies out. I help them get to my place, right? We go out for food. I feed them. I give them a place to stay. I show them around town. We're having a good time the first night. And if you guys don't know this about me, I got sleep apnea. But I got like bad sleep apnea. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'll tell you guys how I found out I had sleep apnea. I was dating a nurse. She woke me up and she's like, yo, Abba, when you sleep, we got a problem. And I was like, yeah, we got a problem? Why the fuck did you wake me up? You're my problem. And she's like, no, Abba, when you sleep, you make a weird noise. And I'm like, what noise? And she said, you make the same noise in your sleep that I make when I suck your dick. Okay, we got a problem. This is when I took the sleep study.
True story, by the way.
I know that's why I'm laughing, because this is a true story. This is not your bullshit face. This is like, that's what she said. And I was like, shit, we got a problem.
That's too gay. You know how some gay guys are like, sucking dick because I can do that in my sleep. I was like, nigga, I do it in my sleep.
This is when I took the sleep study. So then I go to the doctor and he's like, yeah, you sound like you're sucking on multiple dicks. So I snore really loud. And when I travel, I don't have my CPAP machine. So she couldn't sleep. And the next day, I took her out to Santa Monica. We went out for burgers. We went out for food. We went out for checking out the different events. We went out. It was like a 10-hour visit around the city. But she kept saying like, oh, I'm really fucked up. I didn't get to sleep at all last night. You were too loud. It was really bad for me. And I felt terrible because I like to host people properly. So that evening, in order to make her comfortable, I took my mattress, I put it on the bed, I let her have the main bed, I slept basically much on the floor, and I'm like, you know what, just get some sleep, I promise I'll handle it tonight, you're going to sleep well, right? That was my goal, because in my country, the way we do it is that our guests sleep better than we do. We make sure that our guests are more comfortable than we are. That's how I host people. So she went to bed, she woke up the next day, she said, oh, that was great sleep. What happened? And I told her, you know, like I adjusted my pillows, when in reality what happened was I just didn't sleep, and by me not sleeping, I didn't snore, therefore she had a good night's rest. That was my whole plan. And then I did some work in the morning. I went to the cafe. I'm like, yo, get some rest, just sleep up a little bit extra because I know you didn't get any last night. I'll be at the cafe working. 3-4 hours go by, she comes to meet me, we go for lunch because I have this cool spot I want to take to where there's like really good desserts. Like I'm going full out to make her see some shit. When we get back, it's about 1 p.m. and she says, okay, I want to go downtown, I want to do more stuff today. And at this point, I haven't slept in like probably 36 hours. My body's feeling it. I can't pull all-nighters like I used to. So I'm like, hey, can I get like a 4 or 5 hour nap, and then I'll take you out for dinner and we'll go do some other stuff. And she kind of seemed a little bummed out, but then she suggested that she could go see a friend, and she asked me if that's okay, which I was like, yeah, girl, you in LA, you don't see your friend a lot. Yo, go see your friend, have a good time. So she goes sees her friend, she comes back, and she's drunk, she's really wasted. She starts saying passive-aggressive stuff like, yeah, but you're an incomplete person, but I really like you, and you know, I don't think you're in touch with your emotions, but you seem like really cool to be around, and I don't feel really sexy right now, but give me your face. And she like grabbed my face and she started like licking it. Like,
she did what?
Yeah, dead ass. Like, I'm not even exaggerating the details. Like,
so I was like, yo, and her breath was like heavy with alcohol and cigarettes. So I was like, yo, I'm not feeling it right now. And she kind of got taken aback by that, but I'm like, yo, it's cool. We're gonna go out. We're gonna walk up to a restaurant nearby. We're gonna have some good food, and we'll just chill, right? Because I still wanted her to have fun in town. So we're walking, and we're staying in a sketchy neighborhood, like semi-sketchy, okay? We're walking, and we walk by these two guys, and she screams, East Coast, East Coast. And I'm like, yo, why are you being heat back? Chill out. Like, don't be yelling at strangers in the middle of the night. It's fucking weird, and you're gonna start problems. And she's like, don't tell me what to do. I'm fine. Then these guys walk by, and one of the guys says hey to her, and she says hey, and he's like, you look good, and she's like, yeah, you kind of look good, fuckface. She says like some weird insult, like to start some beef, and I'm like, yo, you need to chill. Don't start no beefs, because if you do, then I'm gonna have to fight these guys, and I don't want to fight nobody. Like, yo, chill. Why are you starting problems with people on the street? Don't yell.
It would be actually great if you wouldn't fight.
Yeah, like if they're like, you trying to start some bitch, and she's like, yeah. It's like, I got me and my partner, and I'm just gone. There's like a ghost space.
And you just look at the guys like, nope.
What if I joined them?
Imagine if you got hit randomly. That's one thing. But if you start brawls and motherfuckers smack the fuck out of you, and I'm gonna be like,
you deserved it. Why should I put my health on the line? What if these niggas got a knife? What if they got a gun?
On the south part of the East Coast, what if a knife is your problem? A gun, nigga.
But what if it doesn't matter? So in the reality, like if that happens, then it's my life being put at risk because you wanted to be a drunk potato, right? So I'm mad at this point, and this is what happens.
And I told her there on the street, if you're gonna keep yelling, I'm just gonna go back to the house because I don't like this. This is whack. And she's like, oh, no, you won't. You won't. I'm like, yo, don't test me. She's like, you're not going to go back to the house. And I was like, yo, listen, if you do that shit again, I promise you I will. She said, I will do it again. And I was like, you know what? I'm a man of my word. I never lied to you, girl. I'm heading back. And I walked. Didn't even hesitate.
Punition, G. When you say some shit, do it. Don't say some shit that you're not gonna do.
That's what I see a lot of people do in their relationships. They say things and then renege on it. So then your partner recognizes that not only are you weak with your word, but that if you aren't a man of character, they can defy you and you'll stick around. And that's something where I set my boundaries very clearly about myself. And if you cross them, then I will punish you. Whether it's by taking myself out of the situation or whatever. I'm never gonna hit you or punish you that way, but I will not allow you to cross my barriers and think I'm gonna just tolerate it. Nobody has that right over me.
You do that shit again and you will walk. I was like, I have a car. You do some dumb shit like that again, you can walk. And then when that shit happens or the person confirms to you that that shit will happen, that means that your word, she doesn't care about it, which you say, reciprocate.
And in most relationships, like especially with women early on, there will be times where they will test your boundaries. They'll hit you in little places. They'll make little slight comments. And that's on you guys to rectify that behavior right away. To be like, I'm not going to take that shit. And if you keep going, I'm out. I don't need any kind of toxic behavior. Listen, I always say this about ladies because I don't date men. So if men are having this kind of behavior too, then you should chin check them on that bullshit as well. Okay?
That's anybody.
I just say this about women because that's who I date. I never want people to think that I think women are trash or anything like that. It's just that's who I date. So when I deal with problems, I'm speaking about women. But if men are doing that, ladies, take that advice.
Same shit. Don't let nobody motherfucker talk to you like that.
Exactly.
Guy, girl, nobody.
But I don't want to give ladies advice to things that aren't actually happening in reality. So ladies, you'll tell me if that happens to you. Okay?
She chases me down the street. I'm a couple blocks away, and I guess she thinks she Denzel on Training Day because she starts yelling, "You're gonna do this to me!" And I'm walking away like that white boy, like, nah, nigga, I'm done with you. You crazy.
You're gonna do this to me?
Yeah.
To me, nigga? To me!
It was just like that. And I just kept walking without looking back. No hesitation.
So I get back to my place. I walk in quiet. Now keep in mind, this place that I'm renting right now belongs to a friend, and she has roommates, but she's like, you can have my room, it's cool. Okay? And I felt grateful to her because she saved me a lot of money by giving me this place. So I'm already grateful for the great space that I'm staying in. I walk into the room, I start cleaning up, tidying up. She walks in, makes a lot of noise, annoys all the roommates, then walks into the room and starts screaming. Now we sound like a domestic couple that have been dating for years when I've only known this girl for a couple weeks. And she's making a big scene. And I remember at one point, I was just like, hey, can you calm down because I'm a guest? And she says, oh, you're gonna throw the fact that you're hosting me in my face again because I'm your guest app? I'm like, no, we're both guests in this house. This is not our apartment. Can you chill? Like, don't scream. She's like, you're not gonna tell me what the fuck to do. She starts packing her stuff. She's going crazy, and I'm just like, what is going on right now? Because I've never in my entire life, with all my dating experiences, ever been in a situation where I'm in a shouting match. I don't raise my voice. One thing people tell me, they don't even know what it sounds like when I scream because I always try to keep calm. When I grew up in a household which is a lot of yelling and a lot of fighting, I think I just kind of inoculated myself from that. I don't like to engage in that energy.
I just want to make something clear in this. I'm not downplaying my volume or making it sound like I was being super rational when I wasn't. Because I know sometimes when people tell stories that they're involved in, they make themselves always seem like the good person, the other person screaming. I'm going to play a recording for you guys later, and you're going to hear that I was super quiet and she was super loud because in that moment, I just felt shame. I wanted everything to end and I didn't want to draw any attention to us. So she was going the opposite direction.
We're not friends, but I know you. Okay? And we've been through 80 together.
Yeah.
Some pretty fucked up shit.
In Haiti, yeah.
In Haiti. And I'm the one that's gonna be like, nah, this ain't gonna go like that. Through all this shit we went through, he gonna be the one that's gonna be super calm and shit. And that's my word, because we've been through shit.
There you go. So you have his word, you have my word. And also, nigga, I don't play no games. I got a recording. Let's go.
So she's berating me at this point. She's screaming at me. It's not a shouting match. It's basically just her shouting at me. And she's saying foul shit. And I recorded some of it because it was so crazy. At one point she says something like, for you to behave this way, you're going to make me leave now? Because I told her, like, I don't want your abusive energy like this if you're going to just scream this whole time. And then she gets up in my face and she grabs my face like this. And I pushed her hand away. And then she hit me. And I said, yo, don't get abusive right now. Because right now you're tripping. And she starts hitting me, and it took everything inside of me. And I'm glad I've grown, because if I was 21, I would have just socked her in the face real quick.
Okay, so a little context. When I was younger, I got into a lot of fights. I got arrested a few times for fighting people like randomly. I had a really fucked up teenage years. And back then, it didn't matter if it was a man or a woman. I just didn't like being touched. Just because of my childhood, when people touched me, I was instant fight mode. Like, this, and I'm not going to be like, try that again. I'll just punch you in the face. That's how I used to be. And nowadays, I'm very calm. I haven't had a fight in 7 years, and I want to stay away from that. But I remember when she grabbed me.
Motherfucker talking like he's sober.
Yeah. Because I'll tell this. I don't know if people admit this. I'll tell you the truth. There is very few feelings better than whooping a nigga's ass.
That's your 7-year sober pin. The feeling of whooping someone that did something and deserved it.
I always quote that Tupac line. Revenge is like the sweetest joy next to getting pussy. And I'm telling you, when you knock somebody out, it feels good.
That fuck with
the adrenaline and all that rush, like it's. But I also saw the dangers of that with people like getting paralyzed. So I'm like, I'm never fighting again.
It's fucked up.
And I don't want that.
Don't do it.
And even in this situation where this girl's being abusive and she's being physical, me as a man in another country, the last thing I want to do is put my hands on her in any type of way. Not because I don't think I want equality, but because I know that if somebody walks in or hears the screaming plus me having my hands on her, they're gonna say domestic abuse. I could go to jail very easily.
Plus
it could get very bad. Yeah, touching a white woman, you
in
know.
LA?
Yeah, American cops, no thank you. So I'm just like, I'm gonna
LA cops, they got a history.
Yeah, so I didn't want to risk it, so I kept but I remember just thinking how much bullshit it is that I had to endure that. And I was so pissed in that moment. And it was probably the only time where I started like, yo, now you're getting abusive. Keep your hands on. And me, if I get to that point where I'm speaking that sternly, it's that where I'm starting to teeter over the edge. And so that's just the point. But thankfully, she saw it in my eyes that I was dead ass serious, and she backed off.
But like, she started hitting me, and I'm like, do you realize that you're being physically abusive right now? That because you don't like some of the things that I've said and I've asked you to leave my space, you are being physically abusive. And she kept hitting me, and I'm like, this is part of the reasons why I make some of those videos about women's abuse, because I can tell for them, even when we say it's abuse, they don't register it. They see nothing wrong with it. And so this girl's going through that, right? Because she's emotionally frustrated. And I can understand that she is, because she can't get the words and the feelings that she wants out to me.
I just want to touch on that point. That is something that I really feel is true. And a lot of the dating experiences I've had, the women I've been with have been physically abusive, not in ways that threatened my life, but in ways that invaded my physical privacy, even when I said no. And they never saw anything wrong with it, which is why I made that video of women hitting men and just how like nonchalant, like, yeah, I hit men sometimes. I get frustrated. I hit, and they don't realize that that kind of stuff, that kind of liberty that they feel when things get a little bit more heated goes a lot further. And so that's why I always caution people against allowing that behavior to happen. Just because women aren't as dangerous as men when they're being physically abusive does not mean that we should condone that kind of abuse. And I always reiterate this because I've been on the front end of it from women, and I've never hit them back when I've dated them, but I've seen so many situations where I'm like, I should have slapped the fuck out of you. But because you have a vagina, I'm not going to. And that's wrong. I'm not saying that I shouldn't, that it'd be wrong if I did. I'm saying I want to because I would be seen as being in the wrong by the world. And there's legal ramifications that I don't want to deal with.
And in those times, she starts yelling stuff. She said, yeah, your dad, he must have ran out on you for you to behave this way, not knowing that my dad died of cancer when I was 21, right?
No.
But you know, that's drunk.
No, it doesn't matter. So any behavior that is done by drunk people is good?
No.
Because it's drunk?
I'm not saying
Nah, fuck that. Fuck that shit. Drunk or not. Nah, you're gonna go on my dad and my whole family. Bitch, who the fuck you think you is?
I get what you're saying. Once people get to that stage where they're saying all this nonsense, I tune them out and I've already cut them out of my life mentally. You know what I'm saying? So you're dead to me.
Oh, but we.
So that's why you can't hurt me. So I don't let anybody have control over my emotions.
Catch on fire, I wouldn't piss on you to put you out.
See, you're vengeful. Me, I'm just like, you're dead to me, and I shut down. And we'll talk about. Remind me about that.
But you're vengeful. Okay, I'm vengeful, and you're saying you're dead to me. If the person's birthing, the person's in the process of dying.
Yeah, but I won't.
Same thing to me.
You gonna piss on her?
I'm not gonna piss on her. I'm not gonna watch either. Bye. Burn. Burn. Oh, skirt. Skirt. Skirt.
Then she's talking ill about my mom, which I know for a lot of niggas watching right now, they'd be like, yo, you talking about my mom, I slapped the shit out of you. I didn't do nothing. And she just kept going and going and going and going. And at one point she said, yeah, you didn't even want to spend time with me today. You went to bed not knowing that the reason I didn't spend time with her is because I wanted her to feel so comfortable. I decided to stay up so she wouldn't hear my snoring, just so she could sleep comfortably. And I explained that to her in that moment, as quietly, and she disregarded it. And this is what I mean when I say sometimes people, they don't understand how to receive love in a way that's different than the ones that they're used to receiving. They don't understand how to receive affection in a way that's not how they're used to.
So, okay, I want to touch on that point. That was something I really think about, is that people receive affection one way, and if you don't show them affection in the way they're used to, therefore you are not affectionate, you're defection. Like you're defective in some type of way. And that's not the reality. We all have different ways we show love. Some people are gifters, some people like compliments, some people talk a lot.
Some people just spend time with you.
Some people it's just quality time where they're really focused on you. For me, it's more affection based. I'm very like physically affectionate. I like to, all those little things. I also give people my time when I can offer it, and I make gestures every now and then, right? So that's the ways I show my affection. But because it's not the way that she understood love or she understood affection, she just thought something was wrong with me. You dig what I'm saying? And she didn't realize that, me wanting to get away from her and me telling her to leave my apartment and me get out was not me hating her. This is just me loving myself. You dig what I'm saying?
You gotta love yourself.
Exactly. I have to be protective of my own boundaries and myself in order for me to be in a relationship with someone. And if you're going to cross that boundary, I don't want you gone because I hate you. I just want you gone because I love myself. You know what I'm saying? I'm not mad at her. I have no ill will to this person, even though she said some foul things, even though she was physically abusive. I have no ill will. I love myself too much to allow that kind of person to be in my life for longer. Do you dig what I'm saying? So I would just tell people out there, if you're dating, just don't be one-sided and narrow-minded in how you receive affection. See how the other person does it. And if the way they show affection is not for you, then stop dating that person. But don't tell them that they're defective. Don't try to make them feel terrible for not showing love the way that you're used to receiving.
Yeah, but to me, it means this and that and that. Yeah, but that's to you.
To you.
You need to learn to know each other, and that's what it is. Yeah, but that's not me. Yeah, like people would actually shut the fuck up. It's a different person you're talking about. Anyways, you said what you said, so let's just keep on going.
No, I mean that's pretty much the end of it. Eventually,
no, you didn't. You said you had a recording, nigga. You can't just.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you can't just skip that shit like that shit didn't happen. That you didn't have that in your pocket. We waiting for that shit, a recording of how calm you were.
It's pretty much just in French, most of it, but I'll put subtitles.
Confiance que je t'ai donnée, jamais donnée à personne. So fuck you, man. T'es une marde. Y'a pas de marde qui existe comme toi. Puis tu vas continuer à hate sur les filles. Mais ça reste que, man, ça va pas, toi, dans ta tête.
That was a dad comment.
Nah, man, I would've.
Don't worry. I was just like, okay. Well, what could I have done? Do you see what I'm saying? Like, there's nothing I could have done. So what, am I going to yell at her? Then because here's the thing. When you're in an argument with somebody, the worst thing you could do is add fuel to the argument by yelling back at the person. Why? Because, especially with ladies, from my dating experiences, they just want you to say something. The worst thing you could do, the thing that would piss them off the most, but is actually the best thing to do, is to not say anything. Why? Because not only does it piss them off more, but after a while, it stops feeding the flame that they need in order to keep this argument going. Love and hate are the same side of the coin. On the spectrum, hate is closer to love. Indifference is all the way out there. Try it. Anytime you're arguing with a girl, just be indifferent. It'll drive them fucking mad. Now, that's not what I was doing in this case. I was just not engaging because I didn't want to feel that way. But for her, I knew it was driving her crazy. And I didn't mind.
C'est tout ton shit. C'est tellement triste. Puis moi, j'étais là. Oh, tu m'écoutes depuis tantôt!
You see how happy she was when I said a few words and just reacted? Because I was no longer being indifferent. For her, it was a victory. Even though she didn't understand what I said, she'd come out, you see, I win. That was basically her response.
Comment ça s'en va nulle part? Puis c'est cool parce que t'as ton moment of fame right now, and you told me how Preach is not your friend at all. It's cool, I couldn't tell him.
We're not friends. I don't know who the fuck you are, okay? But yeah, call me. call me and tell me how Abba is not my friend.
So I told her...
No, because we understood that you told her that we're not friends.
Yeah, but let me just give context. So she said, oh, you and Preacher like best friends. But what people don't realize is because we have such an intense work relationship, we try not to hang out after hours. We don't really call each other frivolously to be like, what's up, nigga? Like, it's not a friendship like that. We have a real working relationship that takes so much out of us that we need separation after work. So I wouldn't call us friends per se, but we respect each other.
It's just funny.
Yeah, and I tell people that and they get mad like I insulted him.
You want to call me and tell me how he said that to you like it was some kind of secret.
Like it's the third grade.
I'm the first person he said that to. And I was like, motherfucker, I'm not your friend either.
The third grade.
Yeah.
Jeremy's not your friend.
Jeremy said he's not your friend. He's not my friend. This motherfucker here is not my friend. Don't get it twisted.
It's crazy, man.
I let you fucking...
What?
Yeah, like, you told me Preacher's not your friend. I should call him and tell him that. Who are you, Captain Amatel? Captain Amatel! What the fuck is... Anyways.
That's crazy.
You fuck me and tell me that I was you like me and you love me and...
No, you probably said like, but...
I do like it. I did like her. I love... Come on now. Come on now.
Calm down.
Come on now.
But she realized it. She wanted to say like, love. She said want to say love. Yeah.
You like me? You love me? Come on, make up your mind.
Okay, why the fuck are you acting this way? Pastor?
At this point, if you don't know, I have my earphones on and I'm just trying to, because she was screaming right beside me, and so I'm like, I don't want to hear this. This is too much. I just didn't want to engage, so I was just not saying anything.
You don't... T'es pas capable de gérer ta propre personne. T'as dormi toute la journée. Ben quoi, tu ris, c'est vrai? I went to see my friend.
Est-ce que tu sais pourquoi j'ai dormi?
Because you were...
Non, parce que j'ai passé toute la soirée à rester debout parce que je voulais pas t'inconvénienter durant le soir parce que je voulais...
See? So I explained to her why it was that I
No, because you had a point. You had a point. She can't dispute that.
And this is what she said to the fact that I stayed up all night.
Dude, anyway, moi je peux pas dormir, je peux pas être avec quelqu'un qui comme fucking ronfle comme toi anyway. So like, I'm sorry.
See how she's trying to make herself seem like a good person for us? She says, I could never be with somebody who snores like you, which is, hey, you know, whatever, medical condition. But if you feel that way, that's okay. But this is after she said all this stuff about my dad being gone, how I wasn't raised by good people, that my dad ran out of me, all this crazy stuff about me. And then she wants to be like, you know what, you're a good guy. After you spent 30 minutes telling me I'm trash? Okay.
Sorry. It's good. I mean, good luck with all of that and everything. Someday you're gonna make some guy really happy.
You heard that final joke? What? Someday you're gonna make some guy really happy.
Wow! Oh, they try to fucking gay shame you because you're not okay.
Hey, you know, you guys are homophobic, and then they try to use that on you all the time.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
So you're misogynistic. You're misogynist. I hate women. But yeah, you're gonna make a guy. But yo,
After
keep
she-
the same energy.
After she physically abused me, right? After she
Keep
hit
the
me, after
same
she did all
energy.
that, and I didn't do anything, and I let her do it. I'm the misogynist, and then she weaponizes homosexuality. Yeah, it's cool though, you know.
It's cool. It's cool.
Hey boy, pense à combien de kilomètres j'ai fait pour venir te voir, man. Motherfucker. I should yell just for that. C'est vraiment une fucking merde. C'est très cool parce que, au moins, maintenant, tu peux avoir un taste of it. Like, you can taste it. You can always taste it. But now you know it's true. It's you, fucking asshole, man. The fuck?
La femme est folle, shit.
Bro, listen. La femme est folle. No, man. Really, like, she's drunk. But that is not an excuse. It's actually never an excuse.
Never.
Ever.
Never.
Not in any other case, not in that case. It's not an excuse.
Yep.
If you're shitty when you're drunk, you're a shitty person.
Or you're dealing with some deep problems that you haven't really addressed.
Address them.
But don't blame the alcohol for your irresponsibility. I shouldn't have to suffer your physical abuse because you're drunk.
Okay,
Right?
Jamie
We would
Foxx.
never let a man beat a woman just because he had a few beers, right? We call him a deadbeat. Well, then you're also in that category for what you did, you know? And look, I'm not mad at this person. I have no ill will. I've moved on already mentally. I'm good. But, you know, sometimes I make these videos about women and their behaviors and people are like, oh, Abba, you're going too far. You're misogynistic. No, just because I see it. And look, I'm not a poor judge of character. This is the first time. I'm 28. I've never had a shouting match. You know, the reason why she felt so comfortable hitting me in that situation was because the whole time she's ever been alive, she's never heard women shouldn't hit men. She's never heard it.
Women should, you know, take accountability for that. Women should. You're responsible for that.
Yeah, we should come out with a new Gillette ad where women take responsibility for their shit. Because believe it or not, you guys start half of all marital abuse. You are maybe not as physically damaging, but you are just as likely as men to be abusive in relationships.
And it's fucked up in the lesbian world. It's fucked up.
I'm not going to doubt it. And you know what's
It's
even crazier?
fucked up.
2/3 of women who are bullied by other women in the workplace. So you guys are engaging in extremely toxic behavior, but I never hear anybody talk about toxic femininity. We attribute bullying to men as if we're the only ones, and we say men can do better. No, people can do better. The only difference is men constantly have to hear about how they're evil and how they're doing bad shit. But when are women going to get called out for all their false rape accusations? When are they going to get called out for the fact that they get to be physically abusive without any repercussions?
Or homophobic.
She hit me this whole time. If I call the cops, she's not doing a day of jail time.
A day. A minute a second.
But had I put my hands on her, that would have been me that was fucked up.
How do you you hushed her down, it would be dead.
You know? And it's just like,
I'd be right now doing like a fundraiser, like, yeah, free my nigga Abba.
why do you think I recorded this conversation? It wasn't because I could play it later. It's so that I had a safety net in case she said anything shady. Because I don't know what she might do the next day. She might feel a tremendous amount of shame and anger. She's like, I'm going to fuck his life up. And call the police in a jaded moment. I'm like, nah, I'm keeping a recording so people can hear how crazy.
She didn't, but she could have.
She could have. And it would have fucked me up. So,
Real good.
you know, people say, oh, you guys are very misogynistic. It's not that. It's that nobody's holding you guys accountable. And I have to deal with the repercussions because I date actively. And I just see some of this wild shit that y'all be doing. I know it. I've had false rape accusations that came out to be ridiculous afterwards. And I'm like, why should I have to suffer that? And that nobody talks about it. But every day I got to hear about how masculinity is toxic. From where I'm standing, the most amount of damage that's been done to me has been done by femininity. Right? But we don't have a term for that. So you guys can keep saying, oh, men are toxic, this and that. And feel free. I don't mind. But you're not the ones who date women. Right? And women do need to hear it. You're not allowed to be physically abusive.
You're not.
You're not.
It's as bad as man.
So I just want to share my personal story. I don't like putting out my shit out there normally.
But it's
and I'm not going to mention, nobody knows who this girl is.
Doesn't matter.
I haven't told Preach, I haven't told nobody, and I never will because I respect people's privacy like that. I would just bring this story because I think it speaks to a bigger problem.
But I know you watching.
I don't think she's going to see this video. I hope not. Anyways,